to the second week of competition, the quarterfinal round. And for this game, we will see Mexico and Brazil face off. Brazil, one of two unbeaten teams in this tournament. Mexico needing wins if they want to qualify for Turkey. Earlier today, the Dominican Republic pulled one out of the fire against Uruguay, which led at the end of three quarters. And Argentina had no problems handling Canada. Good afternoon, everybody, from Roberto Clemente Coliseum in San Juan, Puerto Rico, alongside Coach Carlos Morales. I am Alvaro Martin. Brazil, Carlos, rolled on its way here. They haven't lost a single game in Puerto Rico. They're 3-0 as well as Puerto Rico. For Mexico, it's the philosophy of addition by subtraction. Their top scorer, one of the top scorers in the tournament, Romel Beck, their shooting guard, sent home because of his attitude. It was felt that by both the coaching staff and the players that he was too much of a distraction, too much of a dividing figure in the locker room. They literally sent him home. In the last game, he played a handful of minutes, about 5 minutes, but they basically told him, Romel, just go home. We're better off without you. So they're playing with 11 players.
So that, that's too much to say. When you have a player that is as good as he is, but the team is better off without him, that talks about his attitude or lack of.
And that means, Carlos, that this team is just going to have to play tough defense if they want to have any chance of winning any game from now on in San Juan.
Well, they lose a bunch of their offense, so they will have to do it with defense, definitely.
And now the national anthems of both countries. There's Gustavo Ayllón, the Titan of Nayarit, as both teams shake hands before the game, exchange banners. Mexico did not get its only win, and the points that win generated onto the second round. That was the team that was eliminated. As we see the national team of Brazil, Carlos, a team that uses Guilherme Giovannoni and Marcelinho Machado, number 4, as reserves. Both were starters up until recently in this team. This team is deep.
They are, although they don't have a small forward as such starting in the game. They use Alex Garcia, who's pretty much a shooting guard, but a shooting guard with great leaping ability, with great strength. So he plays defense against taller opponents, and he has done a very good job so far.
For Arturo Guerrero's team, key may be the performance of their point guards. The starting point guard is Omar Quintero, who's more of a shooting guard than a natural point guard. And also, Carlos, Enrique Zúñiga, that may be a vulnerability if Quintero has to leave the game for whatever reason, because he has to recover, or simply has foul trouble. Zúñiga is a real experiment. I think Brazil will exploit that. As you see, Moncho Monsalve, he has prepared this team very well, Carlos. The surprise for this team is the way they play the half-court offense and the way they play defense.
Defense is a great asset for this team of Brazil, and a couple of years ago you couldn't say that about a Brazilian team. But right now, one thing that Mexico has to be worried of is that they're playing a great defensive team, and they only average about 57 points per game during the first round. So this is a team that needs offense.
Arturo Guerrero was an outstanding player. Considered one of the top players in the world at the end of the 1960s and 70s, a top scorer. Holds a number of records for Mexico and Latin America, as we see Steven Seibel in the middle, Reinaldo Mercedes from the Dominican Republic on the right, and Jose Carrion from Puerto Rico on the left of today's referees. Arturo Guerrero is known as Mano Santa, holy hand, given to him by a Mexican sports writer for his incredible scoring ability. Averaged 35 points per game in his career in Mexico. At a time when Mexican players had basically to choose whether to try to become NBA players, which is a long shot by any means, or retain their amateur status and play for their home country. And Arturo Guerrero always chose country first.
Well, you know that nickname he shared with all the two players from the Americas. Oscar Schmidt was also called Mano Santa in Brazil, and Salvador Dijols was called Mano Santa here in Puerto Rico.
Brazil celebrating yesterday the announcement that Ubiratan, one of their top players and scorers, will become the 4th Brazilian exalted into the FIBA Hall of Fame in Spain. So quite a bit to celebrate for that
very
team.
Well-deserved honor for Ubiratan Pereira Maciel.
It was unfortunate. The only unfortunate part of that honor, Carlos, it's posthumous.
Yeah, that's right. He died a year ago.
2002. As we look at the lineup for Brazil, no changes. Garcia, Huertas, and Barbosa. And then they don't quite have, that's an old picture of Anderson Varejão before the dreadlocks. But it is Anderson Varejão who's playing lights out in this tournament, one of the top scorers, one of the top field goal scorers. As we see the Mexico starting five, very confident. Noé Alonso will be replacing Romel Beck.
Gustavo Ayón is one of the best rebounders of the tournament. Will be playing the strong forward position.
Everything's ready for this tilt. Brazil unbeaten. For Brazil, Carlos, 2 wins and even 2 losses, if they were to go that way, will give them 6 points, which adding to their 6 points from the first round will give them 12, and 12 will give you a berth into Turkey and into the semifinals in this tournament. As we look at the top scorers, Luis Scola added to his point total just earlier today. Danilo Pinnock from Panama, but you see a Brazilian, Leandrinho Barbosa, and then Carlos Arroyo will be playing immediately after this game as Puerto Rico will face Panama.
And Barbosa is not only third in scoring, but also third in field goal percentage with a 55% field goal average. And then he's first in 2-point field goal percentage with a 72%.
Ready for the jump, it will be Ayón and Varejão with Seibel doing the honors. All set for Brazil, Mexico. And Mexico grabs the tip-off, and Ayón gets hit in the head. He has a shiner. He is one of 4 members of the Mexican team with black eyes.
He's looking at his hands to see if he's bleeding right away.
Looks to pass to Anthony Pedrosa, drives with his right hand. Blocked by Varejão. Here comes Brazil. Alex up front to Huertas, and he lays it in. Brazil's up 2-0. That may be the story of this game. Mexico needs to have supreme ball control because Brazil will counterattack very quickly.
And they're going to try to run a half-court offense, Mexico will, while Brazil is going to try to force the issue with good defense and trying to run.
Pick and roll with Ayón. No room down there. Nice fake, but he has no left hand. Grabs his own rebound over to Noé Alonso, and he pump fakes and scores against the glass. Noé Alonso, a veteran here, as Leandrinho makes the bucket, gets the foul, and he'll go to the line, and that's what I mean by lightning quick Brazil. Leandrinho Barbosa, Carlos, has evolved slightly in this tournament. In the last few tournaments that Brazil's had, he used to be their designated 3-point scorer and, of course, their fast breaker. Right now, he's being part of an offense that's diversified.
In the half court, and he's still the best offensive player that Brazil has, and you can tell by what we just said before, 13 scoring in this tournament, first in a couple of field goal percentage department. But he's letting the offense come to him. He's not trying to force the issue, but he's a good runner. As you know, one of the fastest players in the world. So whenever Brazil can have an opportunity to run with him and push the ball ahead, they will do so.
Pressure on Quintero, full court. He's picked up by Huertas. Noé Alonso, defended by Leandrinho. Over to Ayón. Fakes, stops, pops, and scores. Gustavo Ayón.
Good move by Ayón. Trying to get a little bit of separation between him and Anderson Varejão with the fake like he was going to start his drive to the basket.
Huertas starts with his back to the basket. Back to Huertas. Number of screens and passes along the perimeter. Huertas over to Varejão. Nice pass underneath his splitter, and he gets the foul and the bucket. Anthony Pedrosa, the guilty party.
See the ball movement and the man movement by Brazil when they run one of those 3 plays, set plays that they have. Is always swinging the ball from one side to the other, moving the people after they pass, they cut, and they end up with a pick and roll. It's very difficult to scout and very difficult to defend because it's constant movement by the offense.
Splitter makes a 3-point play. He'll be playing for Caja Laboral Vitoria in Spain, in the ACB, the top league in Spain. He's already a stalwart, one of the best players in Europe, and an outstanding player in this tournament. Llamas, he can make a 3-point shot. He likes to make 3-point shots, as a matter of fact. Backdoor cut, but Varejão was there. The length imposed its will. Here comes Leandrinho, just inside the arc. It's good. Long 2-point shot. Brazil is up 10-4.
Very early in the game, they start executing well and dominating Mexico.
Alonso has the ball stripped out by Barbosa. It's out of bounds, 15 on the shot clock. for Mexico.
A good pass by Huertas on the fast break, and the short jumper by Leandrinho Barbosa.
Quinteros drives baseline. Nice pass to Ayón.
See, he has to make that shot consistently in order to be an international caliber player, a high international caliber player, because he's very good at rebounding, blocking shots. He's first in the tournament in block shots right now, but his offense is kind of suspect still.
But Leandrinho drives, floats. It's good, high against the glass. That's a very difficult play that Leandrinho Barbosa just makes look very easy. 8-point lead for Brazil. Remember, Mexico set a record at this level, meaning pre-Olympic or pre-Worlds tournament, as we see Anthony Pedrosa score.
And it was a negative record.
It was a negative record.
A record of futility.
And against Canada, only 40 points in a 40-minute game. And we have not yet gotten word, Carlos, but they also shot 22%, and if that's not a record, it has to be close to the record. 22% from the field. Varejao, double team, contact. It's good! Oh, he got lucky, and Anthony Pedrosa commits the foul.
So everything working for the Brazilians in these first minutes of the game. That's Pedrosa with the long jump shot that he made.
And there's no choice right now for Mexico but to bring Pedrosa out and bring Quique Zúñiga, because Pedrosa has 2 fouls. Andy Varejao to the line, makes the first. Varejao is performing incredibly well in this tournament, Carlos. Not just his own play, but the way he has kept his team very energized on defense. Ayón crosses over to his strong hands, and Varejao just let him go through. And Ayón wasn't expecting that. He misses right at the rim. Huerta. That was not an alley-oop. That was a pass to Leandrinho, almost intercepted by Varejao. Anderson drives left over to Splitter.
Excellent pass. Excellent pass by Varejao. He went to the basket, but at all times he was trying to attract defense, defense rotation, so he could pass the ball to Thiago.
So you're asking for a third member of the Mexican team to rotate there. As Ayón launches a 3 and makes it. No, Alonso, I'm sorry. With the long 3. Cuts the lead to 7 as we approach the halfway point. Overguarding, again, a new variation of a prior play, but nice defense by Ayón, and Splitter misses. Here comes Zúñiga. Over to Quintero. Alonso was caught by surprise. Down to Llamas against Splitter. Drives baseline, rotates, shoots with his right hand. No good. Varejao brings it up the field. Huerta. Over to Alex Garcia, down to Splitter. Leandrinho. Back to Varejao, wasn't expecting it. 9 seconds to go. It's good!
That's going to be the second opportunity for the three-point play by Varejao.
He's not a great free throw shooter, as we see Splitter attack the basket. And yet he took a jump shot right from there and got Zúñiga to commit the foul. And now Mexico, Arturo Guerrero calls the timeout. They're down 9 with 5:07 to go in the first quarter. Carlos, Mexico is down to 40% from the field, 4 of 10.
Mexico is shooting 80% from the field.
You mean
Brazil is shooting 80% from the field, and they're shooting 80% from two-point range because they haven't attempted a three-point shot yet. So all what they have made right now have been two-pointers.
Amazing. Varejao hasn't missed from the field. Leandrinho hasn't missed from the field. And Splitter has missed only 1 of 3 shots. So it's going to be an uphill game for Mexico. Any way you cut it, they're not deep. They're not as talented as Brazil. What could you tell Mexico if you were coaching this team? What would you tell them? What would give you a chance to be competitive in this game?
Well, you know, if you let's bring this to boxing. If you're boxing against the best boxer in the world, if you have to fight for 12 rounds against that boxer, the chances are very slim that you're going to survive. So you will have a very chance if you could fight a 3-round fight or a 2-round fight, right?
And give it all in the first 3 rounds.
Exactly. But in this case, if you're playing against Brazil, the running game, a game with a lot of possessions, is not going to be your strength. It's not going to favor you. You have to play a half-court game and try to run back on defense and force Brazil to play a half-court game. And if the game is played in the 60s, you have a chance because you average 58 points per game. If the game is played in the 80s, you don't have a chance because Brazil was averaging 82 points per game coming into this game.
And right now we're heading towards the Amazon and not the Sierra Madre territory. We're heading towards Brazilian territory as Adam Parada comes into the game, and there's a timeout. 4:54 to go. Mexico with a nice drive. They're down 7 against Brazil. So you're playing defense with the ball in your hands.
Exactly.
Milking the clock, taking good shots, rotating the ball. You don't always have to consume all 23, 24 seconds of the possession. But also, Carlos, tiring out the starters for Brazil. We may see Russia and Andrei Kirilenko in Turkey on August 28th, 2010. The FIBA 2010 championships start that day, running through September 12th. It will start in at least 5 different sites all over the country. 2 of them, 2 different sites in Istanbul. As we rejoin the game, nice extra pass. Varejao is human, Carlos. He missed a shot.
Yes.
Nice chance for Mexico again to settle themselves down. Adam Parada is now being guarded by Splitter. Zúñiga driving with his left hand. That is an adventure. Quintero loses the ball, slapped out by Garcia. 6 in the shot clock. And Garcia commits the foul. Garcia really bailed out Quintero there. Quintero didn't have a lot of options. So that's Alex's first foul. It's also the first by Brazil. There comes Loy Alonso, and he makes the 3, and Mexico is within 4.
And they are leaving with a 3-point shot right now. Mexico is.
So far, Mexico is perfect, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. They're running Leandrinho through screens. He drives baseline, tries to reach Varejao, but Ayón taps the ball. Zúñiga carries it up for Mexico. There's no rush.
Zúñiga rotated very well, helping the helper on that play.
Parada is asking for the ball against Splitter. He gets it. Quintero to Zúñiga. No good. Rebound, Varejao up front to Alex Garcia, the lefty. Will have no problem.
Alex Garcia.
Even though he's not that tall, he has a way to finish around the basket because he's strong. He can go left or right with his layup, and he jumps high.
Very high. Parada stepped on the line. A turnover for Mexico. 6-point lead for Brazil, 3.5 to go.
That's Alex finishing and getting his first 2 points of the game.
And he's quick. Very quick.
Yes.
Of course, in Brazil, that's relative to Leandrinho Barbosa.
Yeah,
he takes the prize.
He's a slow player when you compare him with Barbosa.
Rebound by Ayón. Homegrown player, Gustavo Ayón. As Parada takes the ball. Parada located in Los Angeles, California. Zúñiga over to Quintero. 8 seconds in the possession. Hook, nice hook by Quintero. He gets his own rebound. Another possession for Mexico.
And he wants to go half court again with taking seconds off the shot clock, which is smart in my opinion.
Looks to pass over to Ayón. They give him the shot. Drives over to Zúñiga. Floats with the right hand. No good. Rebound Splitter. But it's out of bounds. It belongs still to Brazil.
There's another way to stop the fast break. Instead of everybody running back on defense, the guy who was fighting for the offensive rebound and didn't get it, try to slow the outlet pass, try to deny the outlet pass, and that's what was done by Parada in that play.
Top of the key, Varejao down to Splitter. Parada gambles, back to Varejao. He took Ayón out of position, and Varejao made him pay. Little slip by Parada, and Brazil capitalizes. They're up by 8. As we approach the 2-minute mark here in this first day of second-round competition in the 2009 FIBA Championships. 4 teams will qualify out of the 8 remaining ones.
Good screen. Oh, the ref is going to call an illegal block on Ayón.
Ayón.
It looked like a good screen there.
You know, he had an up and under. If he had took a step to the basket, he may have had a chance to make that bucket, but he passed. Here comes Lorenzo Mata, substitution for Mexico. Now look at the Mexican shirts, Carlos. The shirts don't say Mexico. They say Vive Mexico, live Mexico. And there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about it in a second. Barbosa over to Huertas. Floater, watch out, no good. Two-handed though this time. The one-handed ones are lethal.
And good denial, good ball denial by Huertas forces Mata to bring the ball down court.
Zúñiga taking his time. This is smart basketball by Mexico, given the circumstances. Quintero over to Zúñiga. Nice pick by Mata. And Enrique Zúñiga brings Mexico to within 6.
He has to make those shots because he has been open a couple of times before. He couldn't make them, and now he makes a short jumper.
Offensive foul. Believe it was Splitter or Varejao. No, it was Alex Garcia. And for Alex, that is his second. That is a team second as well. He's got them all. Quintero brings it up court. Last minute of the first quarter. Mata's asking for the ball. Zúñiga drives to his right. Baseline, no room there. He's got to go left. He floats with his left hand, no good. They're looking for the rebound. Varejao.
Good effort by Mata there.
Fouled by Mata.
Yeah. He tried to get the offensive rebound, but when he lost his balance, he fell and made contact with Varejao. And Mexico is over the limit, so Varejao will walk the court down and will have a chance for 2 shots.
Arturo Guerrero worried. Last time he was here as a player, Carlos, was in the 1974 World Basketball Championships. He was one of the top draws then. Varejao makes the basket. For Anderson, Carlos, the possibility of finally winning an NBA championship. They went to the finals a couple of years ago, but they were manhandled and swept by San Antonio in the NBA. As Splitter gets the offensive rebound. 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Splitter, top of the key. Varejao pushed off the blocks by Mata. He tries to drive. Double team. He slips anyway. Squares his shoulders. No good. Parada with a rebound. 22 seconds. Over to Alonso and Quintero. And last play for Mexico.
Obviously, they're going to play for the last one, yeah.
13 seconds to go.
And what they do is that they spread the court, and Quintero is asking for a pick and roll on top.
He drives in. Over to Zúñiga. He almost fell down. Tough shot. No good. Mata with the rebound. He takes a tough shot. No good. Paradas on time or not? No, says Siebel from Canada. It's no good. That was close.
It was close. It was very close.
And that's why Parada wants to know. He said, I thought I let it go. So Mexico down 7 at the end of the first quarter against the formidable unbeaten team from Brazil.
Ahorras tiempo y es más seguro. Tu número secreto, seguridad que va contigo a todas partes.
As we look at the top plays at the opening basket of the game, Marcelo Huertas, a block by Splitter, and Noé Alonso with a nice set of pump fakes gets his bucket. Alonso ended up as the top scorer for Mexico with 5 points. There's Splitter getting the foul with a nice feed from Huertas and Varejao. Anthony Pedrosa picked up 2 quick fouls, made the long 3-point shot, and no one wanted to get a piece of Thiago Splitter there. No one. This is a foul and a shot from the free throw line by Andy Varejao. Another one from there. Poor free throw shooter. Maybe he needs to imitate Richard Lugo from Venezuela.
Take jump shot from the free throw line.
Yeah, maybe that works for him as we look at the percentages here. Again, look at the 0 for 1 in 3-point shots for Brazil. The last time Brazil was playing a world qualifier, Carlos, in Santo Domingo, they averaged 24 shots per game. As they're taking a look, I believe, at that last shot. Let's see. You be the judge. Mata misses. Parada is right there. Did he leave his hands? No.
No, good call.
Good call. Good call by Siebel. Excellent call by the Canadian referee. So we're ready for the second quarter. Now, I mentioned the shirts that the Mexican players are wearing. Mexican shirts in the front, they don't say Mexico, they say Vive Mexico.
Which is the slogan of the Mexican Tourism Company.
Indeed. It's interesting because of a legal dispute with a former Federation head who still considers himself to be the Federation head, Jorge Toussaint. He claims that he's got the trademarks and the copyrights, and his organization still
to the name Mexico on basketball jerseys
in international competitions. Now,
wow,
that was not going to be decided before this tournament. So the Mexican team said, you know what? We'll figure that one out later. But at this point, we need to wear something that says Mexico, and presto, tourism company and their logo came in real handy. So I'm sure the Mexican national team, as we see Parada score from mid-range against Varejao and bring Mexico up 5 points down to Brazil, I'm sure they're very thankful that the Mexican tourism company, who's supporting Mexico and its sports teams at every level, came through here big time in San Juan. Remember, Mexico was supposed to be the host of this tournament, but swine flu put an end to that. Tough shot by Varejao. Nice defense by Mata.
Mr. Toussaint not only copyrighted the name Mexico on the basketball jersey, but also the Mexican Federation, the Mexican Federation of Basketball is a copyright also.
Noé Alonso misses. Here comes Brazil. Cross court to Leandrinho. They try to get there before the Mexicans set up. Look at that. Did Shaquille O'Neal teach him that?
No, I don't think so.
I think he learned that way before that.
Yeah. And besides, Shaquille O'Neal can make that type of shot.
Unreal. Here comes Quintero. Alex gets in the way, but he's the last one to touch it. The ball will return to Mexico, but with only 13 seconds on the shot clock, guys. A dead-eye shooter, Marcelinho Machado, comes on the court. Carlos, we'll talk about him later. He did some things yesterday in practice that I'm not sure anybody's ever seen before.
And JP Batista is also coming into the game with him, while Miguel Ayala, number 10,
comes in for Quique Zúñiga. Takes a breather. Remember, Anthony Pedrosa has 2 fouls after making that three-point shot. Alonso, intercepted by Leandrinho. Who's going to catch him? Here comes Quintero. No.
He let him go. And I think that was a smart play, because what are you going to do after he jumps? You know, you can compound the problem by fouling him, and he will get a three-point opportunity.
Alonso to Mata. Down to Ayala, but Ayala can't find the handle. Almost loses it.
I think he got to the basket, but he wasn't expecting a pass.
Parada. Well, against Brazil, he better get his hand on the head on a swivel when we have an offensive foul. No, a foul by Varejao. Lorenzo Mata gets the foul, gets the bucket. He gets fouled.
Great effort play by Mata, just taking the ball away from Varejao's hands and putting the ball in the basket at the same time that he got a foul.
That's Varejao's first. A UCLA veteran, Lorenzo Mata is. He's always been there for the Mexican national team.
Played in a couple of Final Fours, but never could win a championship for UCLA.
Here comes Huertas, who's been playing extremely well in that position. And a foul by Noé Alonso. He was over-guarding, where apparently he made contact. That's his first. Mexico very careful on their fouls. He's only their first for the quarter. Machado over to Huertas. Oh, nice block by Mata. That's the second one on Varejao. Here comes Quintero. Mexico's hanging around. They're hanging around here. And there goes Quintero. Everybody thought he was going to be a threat to pass. He just drove the lane.
So the lead is down to 4 points by Brazil right now with 7 minutes and a half to go in the second quarter.
And I got to tell you, Carlos, Mount Moncho Monsalves, Mount Moncho is about to make an eruption pretty soon.
Good luck by JP Batista.
JP Batista, former Gonzaga veteran. And there's a timeout. Or is it substitutions? No, it's just substitutions. Batista with his first. Ayala will inbound to Quintero. You can't be happy, Carlos. The level of intensity on defense is a little lower than usual. Nice pass to Parada. He just cannot finish.
He was all by himself.
That's been a problem for Parada. Over to Splitter. Nice elbow. and he gets fouled. What I mean by nice elbow, he took his off elbow and opened up some room.
Right. He knows how to do that.
He wasn't doing that much 4 years ago. He's grown as a player so much as Adam commits his first. This is one of the top big men in the world. No doubt about it.
He certainly is. Yeah.
24 years old, born at Blumenau. And it's in Santa Catarina. The name Blumenau, of course, German. There are a lot of Germans there.
In the south of Brazil.
In the south of Brazil. That's where Gisele Bündchen comes from. Everybody knows her. Miss Tom Brady. Married to an American football player.
Oscar Schmidt also comes from there.
Marcelinho Machado. Dangerous man. Double team. Back to Marcelinho. Oh, nice pick and roll. Nice feed to Batista. Batista just can't finish. He just put it up. He should have laid it up against the glass.
So there even. Parada missed one that he should have made, and now Batista does the same.
4-point game, though. Mexico's hanging in there. Over to Mata. Drives left. Lays it in short. Oh, and Slitter just got hammered by Parada. That's his second foul.
You know, one of the problems that Mexico has is that its big men can't score from when they are facing the basket and they're trying to attack the basket. They are good, and they hustle. They are good putting the ball on the floor.
And they go for putbacks.
Yeah, but when they try to go one-on-one, they can't finish. And that's a big problem.
Near the rim, you mean?
Yes.
Thiago at the point. Here comes Huertas. Feeds Batista. Nice play. Now he could have gone with the pick and roll with Twitter, but that's what Mexico was anticipating. Batista was a great second option.
So it's always important when you have an offense like this to have a first, a second, and a third option, and the guy with the ball should know what those options are.
And if you're Mexico, what do? You get in front of Batista?
You try to take the first option away, then the second option away, and you try to live with the guy that you think is going to do the less damage.
Huertas, room to throw. He makes the two-handed set shot, jump shot. That gives Brazil an 8-point lead as Gustavo Ayllón prepares to get back in the game. Quintero to Mata. He could have traveled. Finally, he did. That was a little delayed whistle by referee Mercedes, but it's a correct call.
And again, that happens because Mata is not able to finish around the basket, so he was more worried about trying to get in position to take either a better shot or to pass the ball instead of going right away towards the basket.
Mata comes out of the game. Marcelinho gets fouled. No, he stepped on the line.
That was good defense by Ayllón. He played a passing lane, and he forced Marcelinho to step on the sideline.
Lorenzo Mata comes out with 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover. Mexico shooting 38% from the field. Brazil 58, and yet it's an 8-point game. Halfway through the second quarter. Another hack at Splitter's face.
Offensive foul.
Parada, the guilty party. Or is it Ayllón? No, it's Parada. He's second.
The big guys are playing very physical, and you see that foul by Parada. A no-brainer. That was an easy call for Mr. Mercedes.
From the Dominican Republic. Splitter on the feed from Machado. No good. Rebound in the hands of Quintero. They try to fast break for a change, and here comes a foul by Huertas to avoid Mexico getting an easy basket.
With every intention of stopping the fast break.
He's played extremely well in this tournament, Marcelo Huertas.
He's one of the top point guards in the tournament. You can talk about Pablo Prigioni, Carlos Arroyo, and Marcelo Huertas in the same sentence.
Timeout. With 4:46 to go in the half. Brazil beats Mexico by 8, 32-24. Pretty even rebound battle, and that is surprising. Mexico has the big men, as you mentioned, and they tend to do well in the offensive rebound category. But Brazil is the rebounding team, one of the rebounding teams in the tournament. And yet they're about even.
But see, having one more offensive rebound than Brazil makes sense because Mexico is shooting only 38% from the field. Brazil is shooting 56% from the field, so there are not that many offensive rebounds to get.
2 block shots by Anderson Varejao, a steal by Landinho Barbosa. So Mexico just a steal by Zúñiga, although I have to say that Lorenzo Mata had a couple of deflections that perhaps were not counted as such. Brazil gets back on the court. Carlos, Moncho Monsalve, we talked about earlier in the coverage of the 2009 FIBA Americas Championship, is a very experienced coach who doesn't come in and say, okay, you're going to play my system here.
No, what he did was he took last year when he took them to Greece for the Olympic qualifier tournament. He started putting his system in, but at the same time he was trying to check what he had in terms of talent and how those pieces could fit. And after he saw that, then he established the system for this year. So everything that he does is because there's a reason for that, and it's because he has the talent, he has the players to run exactly the plays that he wants them to run.
Parada, top of the key, looking for Ayón, takes a long shot, misses.
But one part that was non-negotiable was the defense. He said, we're going to play defense my way, and you better get used to playing defense because if not, you're not going to play for me.
He is not shy, as you can imagine. Moncho Monsalve, never shy. Not personally, not with in press conferences. And he declared early upon the arrival of Brazil for even the Marchand Continental Cup prior to this FIBA Championship to see Machado make the basket and give Brazil a 10-point lead. He said, we're going to be one of the top 2 defensive teams in the tournament. I'm not sure which other team's going to join us, but we'll be in the top 2. And that's a goal, he said very early, publicly for this team.
Yes.
Turnover by Mexico. Huertas, back to the splitter. Nice defense there by Ayón. They really know that Ayón is the best shot blocker in this tournament.
You see that Huertas jumps, and the same way that he shoots the floater is the same way that he passes the ball, so it's really difficult to anticipate what he's going to do.
Ayón has a notion for a shot. Here comes Ayala. Oh, nice 3-point shot.
Another three-pointer for Mexico. They are 4 for 5 now from three-point range.
Miguel Ayala from long distance. He is now 2 for 4 in the tournament from behind the arc. Ball out of bounds. Kicked out of bounds. So there's a new 24-second clock. Here comes Horacio Llamas, the first Mexican to ever play in the NBA as Parada goes to the bench. He'll be forever known for that, Carlos, and for the fact that he's always been there when this team needed him.
That's right.
I mean, in Mexico, that's an honor unto itself. In a very turbulent period, Mexico has 110 million inhabitants. They love American sports. They love basketball. They play basketball widely. This national team underperformed, given the size of the country, the way, the economic development of the country, and the amount of talent in the country.
And all the players that they have in Mexico and in the United States.
This is one of the sleeping giants of the Americas. I mean Mexico.
That's right. Good pass.
Batista fakes.
Great fake too.
And gets the bucket. He got the foul.
Yes.
He also got the bucket.
The foul is going to be called on Ayón.
And that's trouble for him.
That's his second. The pass by Machado, and then the patience by Batista to fake and wait for the guy to jump and come down. And as soon as Ayón was coming down, JP went up with the shot.
Varejao's back on the court. JP Batista played for Gonzaga University for 2 years upon finishing junior college. Misses the extra part, and the specialty of the house for Varejao, the tipped offensive rebound. It's too easy for him, huh?
It is.
But it always seems
it seems to be easy, but he works so hard.
Huertas falls down. But Carlos, as we see, a cheap foul by Ayón.
Third foul.
Cheap foul. Unnecessary. That's his third, and that's trouble for Mexico. Mexico cannot afford that.
And they are over the limit, too.
Parada has to get right back into the game. Now we're saying about Varejao, it's his trademark, but more often than that, almost invariably, the ball lands in a teammate's hands.
Yes.
You can tip the ball and tip it right over to the opponent. Not Varejao for the most part. And he misses the first shot.
He's not happy about it.
Well, he can practice. I'm sure he does. That's not his forte. 62% free throw shooting with the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. played in just about every game the Cavaliers played, regular season and playoffs. Makes the second one. Gives Brazil a 10-point lead again with 2:30 to go in the half. Noé Alonso to Llama. High low to nowhere.
Yeah, that pass by Llama.
Plays at the top of the key a lot. Takes 3-point shots. Had 5 assists in an earlier first-round game. Llamas can do that, but
he tried to think for Parada. He thought that Parada was going to cut from one side of the low block to the other, and he never did.
Nice pass. Hits the backboard. Back in the hands of Marcelinho. 9 to shoot. 9 to shoot. Huertas unloads. 3-point shot by Marcelo Huertas. There was nothing there, so he took the shot.
All of a sudden, the lead goes up to 13, and now
backcourt violation by Omar Quintero.
That's a strange call.
Mercedes makes the call. He's sure of it, though. Let's see. Well, we can't really see
this is going to be the three-pointer by Huertas. But that was a strange call because he was trying to advance the ball. Maybe when he went through his legs, he went from front court to back court, and he did it right in front of Mercedes.
Machado. Nice cut by Batista. And he makes a shot right in front of Llamas. Llamas is not much of a leaper at that point.
It's starting to look like a blowout, and Guerrero is worried. He just went to the table, the scorer's table, to ask for a timeout.
Quintero, left hand, no good. Rebound, no. The one that Parada makes
they call the foul
is
on
no
him.
good because he got that rebound over the back of Anderson Varejao.
And to make things worse, Varejao will come to the free throw line because, as we said before, Mexico is over the limit.
And to make things worse, in the power forward position, both players that Mexico has, both have 3 fouls each.
Wow.
Trouble.
Yeah.
At the end of the first half. So Andy Varejao gets the line. Misses the first.
Now Mercedes is explaining to Quintero exactly what he did wrong on that backcourt call.
Makes the second one. For Mexico, Lorenzo Mata comes in. And now Parada comes out, which means the power forward is smaller than Mexico had it. Miguel Ayala over to Llamas, takes a 3-point shot, offline, short. Huertas, full speed ahead, leaves Quintero behind. It was too easy. He actually had to change direction and had the dribble, and he beat all the Mexican team down the court,
That's
the
correct.
entire Mexican team.
Yes. Even Llamas was the one that was at the top of the key and took that three-pointer.
Llamas, stripped. Here comes Machado. Cross court to Huertas. Machado's on the corner.
Oh, good pass.
Batista misses.
He should have gone straight to the backboard instead of straight to the rim. Use the backboard, and he would have had 2 points.
Too much respect for the opponent. On Quintero. Against the backboard, against Varejao. A wonderful shot by Omar Quintero. He has 6. Mexico's down 16.
They needed that one. They really needed that one because it was starting to become a blowout right here in the first half.
Stops the hemorrhage. Machado back to Varejao. He loses the handle.
Good block
and
by
he
Llamas.
strips Mata.
Llamas blocked that shot.
Here comes the fast break. Circling around. And here's Quintero. Nice video provided by FIBA. Llamas, another 3. This is a long one. No good. 5 seconds to go.
Wow, they're going to get a layup there.
Oh, they really hung on to Huertas, and here's Garcia, and he misses. And that's the end of the first half. Brazil beats Mexico 45-29. It was a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and halfway through the second, Brazil was up by 8, but Brazil finished on a 13-5 run to end up with a 16-point lead.
It looks like uphill right now from now on for Mexico, having both of its strong forwards with 3 fouls, not being able to score, and as we said before, this is a game of more possessions. than Mexico would have wanted it to be.
You talked about Mexico wanted games to be in the 60s. Well, they're projecting 58 points. The problem is that Brazil projects 90 points. Well, they're on track too, and hence the difference. As we look at the rebound differentials, about even. Mexico with 9 turnovers, and those turnovers have turned into just five Brazilian points. One thing keeping Mexico in this game is a three-point shooting. As we look at the scorer's table, one interesting note, Carlos, Anthony Pedrosa committed a couple of quick fouls, and he's been very foul-prone in the tournament, but he never came back. No, once he committed that second foul, that was it.
He hit one of the three-pointers that Mexico had in the first half. Mexico was 4 for 5 at one time. Then Llamas came to the game, and he launched two three-pointers and never found the net. And that's the reason why they're shooting only 4 for 7, 57%. But they were shooting 80% at one time.
For Uruguay, this last game was a heartbreaker. And again, it's a team that, as you mentioned, has no depth in its rotation. So they know they can't foul, for example. Just to give you an example, they can't foul. I mean, someone goes on a fast break, well, that's too bad. You have to take the 2 points and make the best out of it. You cannot foul because you cannot afford to lose any of those starters. It also means that by the end of the middle of the third quarter, already you begin to see signs of wear and tear and fatigue. By the end of the fourth quarter, they're fried. And today, a 26-10 final quarter in favor of the Dominican Republic, and a 15-7 run to close the quarter was it. However, the Dominican Republic needed some outstanding play on the part of Francisco Garcia to pull this one out.
Well, on the defensive end, he got 2 steals at the end that put the game in safety box for the Dominican Republic, but he didn't have a good shooting day at all, and he was forcing some shots too. That's the problem that the Dominican Republic has with their main weapons, with their NBA guys. Not with Holford though, but with Villanueva and Garcia and Francisco Garcia, and also with Luis Flores. They tend to force the issue sometimes.
One final note on that game. Leandro Garcia Morales, the shooting guard for Uruguay, who was mired in a horrific slump. Well, he got a significant cut in his right hand, but he scored 28 points. Foul by Guilherme, who starts the second half instead of Alex Garcia. Interesting move. Guilherme just signed a deal with Universo of Brasilia.
As a matter of fact, he starts instead of Thiago Twitter, because Marcelinho is starting instead of Alex Garcia. They have 2 guys that didn't start the game that are playing now.
Pedrosa misses. Long rebound in the hands of Varejao. Is that a reflection on the score?
I really don't know, Alvaro. You know, in international basketball, it's not like in the NBA where they have things written in stone, where if you start the first half, you usually start the second half unless you are in deep foul trouble. And, you know, the international coaches, they go by feeling, and you can ask Moncho after the game, and he will have his reasons. But we can't say what those reasons are.
But the reason why I say that is, forget about the NBA. They haven't done that much in this tournament. It hasn't been a pattern.
No, but Brazil, they have started with different players. Remember when Guilherme didn't play?
Oh, look at Guilherme.
There was another game where Guilherme didn't play at all in the first half, and he started the second half. Yeah, they have done that before.
So they're up now by 18. Pedrosa tries to cut. Landriño is held. He's held at custom. Ayon against Guilherme. Thinks he can take him physically, but he's got to put it on the floor. He does with his left hand. Turns around. No good. Rebound, Varejao. Varejao with now 8 rebounds, accompanying his 10 points. Barbosa, triple team. No good. And the rebound and the foul by Guilherme.
No, the foul is
on Ayon.
Yeah, the foul is on the Mexican player, on Ayon.
And that is trouble. That's his fourth. So Adam's coming up. Adam Parada. See, there's the dunk by Guilherme. He is now joining Universo of Brasilia. That is a loaded team, loaded with talent. Yet the last 2 seasons, they've fallen short in the finals of the Brazilian League.
The foul is on number 6. That's Pedrosa. That's going to be his third.
They're just, no, that's his fourth.
His fourth? Oh,
the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth, you're right. So they're in deep trouble right now, Alvaro.
Basically, they can't foul. They cannot foul. Marcelinho Machado over to Guilherme. Dead-eye shooter. Played in Italy. Guilherme now returns to Brazil. Quintero. They look for the high-low. They feed Parada against the glass, but it's no good.
Again, that's the problem that Mexico has with the big guys. They can't finish around the basket.
He does all the hard work. Parada does.
Yeah.
There's no touch at the end. Quintero with a foul. And that's his first.
The fundamentals, the footwork, they are there. You see that they have been around and they have been well coached. But either you make it or you don't make it.
It's a feel thing. They're playing, trying to play tough defense on Machado. Stops, jumps, it's good. Machado, we talked about his ability as a shooter. He is as good a shooter as you'll find in this tournament, and there are some good ones here. We're thinking of Andy Rodden of Canada for one. Machado, a little bit more polished, more capable, more versatile as a shooter. Here comes Quintero, nice pick by Alonso, but Quintero misses. It's a 23-point lead now.
So, Alvaro, as I have said before, the world is divided, split between the guys who can make shots and the guys who cannot. And right now we see Machado, he can make shots. Parada, he cannot.
Yes, it's very simple, huh?
Yep.
So if you had scouts working for you, the first line would be, can he make shots or can he not make shots?
Exactly.
Fill the box. Very simple, no matter what position.
That's right.
You don't have to be a three-point shooter here. Nice feed, but it's under the basket, and the foul by Marcelinho will put Parada on the line. Alan Parada will be 29 on October 21st. He went to University of California at Irvine, averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds in his last year in 2003-2004. He has been playing for a number of development league and minor American leagues, trying to make it back to the NBA. Makes the shot. Looks surprisingly smooth and polished, Carlos, but as you said, it's finishing. Enrique Zúñiga on the court, guarding Huerta. Leandrinho Barbosa, a miss. Guilherme, much more confidence by Guilherme under the basket than we saw at the beginning of the tournament.
Great positioning by Guilherme. He just boxed out the defensive player, which is very strange because the defensive player has inside position, or he's supposed to have inside position.
Pedrosa takes a double pick, but he can't feed anybody. Over to Parada, and Varejao commits the foul. He reaches in. And the smile by Andy is his admission of guilt.
Yeah, denying the passing side, but also grabbing, going over the top on Adán Parada.
Pedrosa will inbound. 6:11 to go. Oh, bad pass. And Parada just took his eye off the ball, too. This turnover by Mexico. That will be their 11th. And it's cost them. The 10 prior ones have turned out produced 5 points for Brazil. Parada has 3 turnovers now. Machado. Dribble drive. Here comes Guilherme. No good. Rebound. Pedrosa. Chance to run. Pedrosa tries to get there early, and he does against Leandrinho Barbosa. Now Leandrinho goes the other way. Watch out. No, Alonso picks him up. 21-point game here. Brazil in control. Unbeaten Brazil, I should add.
And it has been pretty easy for them.
Looking for point number 7 and 8. Huerta, left hand, no good. And I believe Guilherme slapped the ball out of Zúñiga's hands, so it'll be Mexico's ball.
A rare miss by Huertas around the basket, I may add.
They're not as crisp, Carlos, as we've seen them in prior games.
You mean Brazil?
Yes.
Well, right now they are not as focused as they started the game. At the beginning of the game, they couldn't miss. And they were not playing that great of a defense, and Monsalve was a little bit worried about it. But after that, they started playing defense, and now, it has become a laugher, to be honest. There's no way that Mexico's going to win this game, and they know it already. Brazil knows it too.
Leandrinho runs the court, gives him a 23-point lead. Barbosa now with 13 points. He's got no rebounds, no assists, has a steal. Llamas, nice pass, and a foul by Varejao.
In this game, the point difference doesn't matter either, because there's no way that with Brazil getting their fourth win and Mexico without wins right now, there's no way that they can finish tied for any position in the tournament.
So no incentive but to play hard and play your brand of game and make sure your standards don't slip.
Right.
And try not to make it worse on the opponent at this point. I'm sure Brazil, it's a sporting nation, they do that. This is one of two nations, Carlos, and this is an incredible achievement by the Brazilians. They've qualified for every World Basketball Championship.
That's correct.
The only other nation in the U.S. An outstanding achievement by the Brazilians. So, however, I should add, not qualifying for the last 3 Olympic Games has been a blow to the Brazilian Federation's pride, and finishing their worst ever finish in the Worlds at Saitama, Japan, the 17th position, that was a blow. That was enough to bring in Moncho Monsalve in 2008. He has really changed the roster, Carlos. Lula Ferreira, the prior coach, brought a lot of his own players from the Brazilian League. They're gone for the most part. And he's brought some youth to the team. He's also brought first-timers since 2008 to the national team. And in this particular case, he brought in Marcelino Machado's younger brother, Duda.
Yeah.
And that was controversial in Brazil.
It was, because there was a guard that had been the backup point guard for a couple of years already, Wellington, that was as quick as they come. Maybe the only player that was quicker than him was Leandrinho. But he already knew how to play international basketball as a backup point guard, and he was he wasn't injured or anything like that. He just tried out and he didn't make it, and Moncho decided on do that.
Parada makes 1 of 2. The lead is down to 22. Over to Leandrinho Barbosa, drives the lane, and the pass is deflected by Mexico back to Brazil with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Barbosa, back to Varejao. Over through the perimeter. He's got a shot if he wants it. Here comes Noel Alonso to guard him. Takes a shot.
Yeah, with 1 second.
Oh.
1 second on the shot clock. 2 when he let it fly. 1 when the ball found the bottom of the net.
4.5 to go in the third. It's a 25-point game. Ilo, Llamas, nice touch around the basket against Guilherme.
And good defense by Guilherme, keeping his hands up. The principle of verticality, but Llamas knows how to play it down there.
He's beefy, and I would go to that matchup, Carlos.
Yeah.
If it's there, I'll go to it. Here comes Leandrinho, loses control of the ball. Parada over to Zúñiga. Zúñiga.
Good transition by Brazil. It was a 2-on-4, and the 4 were the defensive players.
And again, Varejao denying, overguarding Parada. He is making Parada having a very difficult time. Have a very difficult time just catching the ball. As you see the 3 by Leandrinho.
They're going to that matchup.
They should. Here comes Llamas. There you go. Grind, grind, grind.
You want me to talk to Arturo? You can be an assistant coach for the Mexican team.
No, he doesn't. Trust me, he doesn't need any help. He's done a wonderful job, Carlos, with the team. The most important thing for Mexico is changing the mindset.
Right.
And perhaps getting rid of Romo Beck earned him a lot of respect. He didn't do that because they lost and they only scored 40 points against Canada. He did that for the good of the team, and I think he deserves the respect of the Federation as Noy overplays the passing lane.
Yeah,
he wants to play the kind of basketball that was played by the Mexican team when he was a player.
Right, team basketball where he was passing and cutting. They started playing the international passing game, which was Lester Lane, a coach from the U.S. that brought that style to Mexico. And it was very difficult to defend because it was based on ball movement, players' movement, screens, and big guys who could hit the outside shot. And on those years, remember, in those times, there was no three-point shot. It was a two-pointer every time that the big guy will hit an outside shot, but they had a couple of good ones on those years.
Parada can't finish again. Heard that one before. Guilherme takes the ball over to Varejao. Wasn't expecting it. Steal by Pedrosa. Crossover.
Good move.
And he beats Tavernari down the court. He had to twist and turn to get that basket, but he gets him. And Mexico's now within 22. We get this youngster, Jonathan Tavernari. Plays at Brigham Young University in the U.S. Varejao against Llamas. Over to Tavernari. Drives the lane. All right up to the hoop.
Too easy. Parada didn't want to have anything to do with him because Parada is also in foul trouble.
Zúñiga at the point. Pedrosa has a shot. And he makes it. Nice three-point shot. Nice flare by Anthony Pedrosa Lieber.
That's his second three-pointer of the night in 3 attempts. And he gets to 10 points.
And they're down to 21. Marcelinho, pick and roll with Varejao. And he misses the shot at the end. Gets his own rebound. Misses a tougher shot. Smattering of boos here at Roberto Clemente Coliseum. Pedrosa's feeling it. No good. Long rebound.
Yeah.
Landriño on the right side.
That's exactly what happened with those long rebounds. But that's a very good defensive play by Noé Alonso.
He's replacing Rommel Beck. Alonso, a veteran, can do a little bit of everything, Carlos. You just saw a block there. He is 26 years old, 25 years old, from Chihuahua, the same northern state in Mexico that produced Eduardo Nájera. Then he moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and then grew up the rest of his life in Phoenix, in the Valley of the Sun, as we see Mano Santa, Holy Hand, Guerrero. And the new version of that in Brazil, Carlos, what a show we saw from Landinho Barbosa in that final game of the 2005 World FIBA Americas Championship in Santo Domingo when he played Brazil's eternal rival, Argentina.
Yes, Brazil came out with the gold medal. Argentina qualified with the silver medal. Well, they were already qualified because they were the Olympic champions, but they took a team very similar to the one that we have here for Argentina, a team that it wasn't composed of the big stars, but they played real well during the whole tournament and got to the finals. But in the finals, there were victims of Barbosa's show.
Oh, what
he was unreal.
Whoa, he went 7 of 9 from three-point land, 4 of 5 in the last quarter, and those 4, if I remember correctly, Carlos, came in within a span of like 2.5 minutes of play.
Yes.
An amazing display. There you go, there's another one. As he takes the ball, puts it right up, and makes the bucket. An amazing display of offense. He was in the zone. It was almost too bad that the game ended because he wanted to see more from him. Unbelievable. Here's a foul by Landinho, an excess of adrenaline on his part.
And Moncho Monsalve is going to substitute 4 guys.
En masse.
Let's see who stays in the game.
Duda comes into the game.
James Batista, Peter is coming in.
Also
Number 6,
split.
Diego is also coming, so just one who's going to stay. Who is it? Oh, number 14, Tavernari.
With a minute to go in the third, and too bad the Machado brothers won't be in the court at the same time. So Diego is in, Duda's in. In Brazil, of course, you're only known by your nickname, which is usually a variation on your name. It's not Marcelo Machado, it's Marcelinho. It's not Marcelo Huertas, it's Marcelinho, another one Marcelinho.
Leandrinho in the case of Leandro Barbosa.
Nene, who even got rid of his last name.
Yeah.
There's no need for it in Brazil, especially if you're famous like that. Noé Alonso makes the free throw, 21-point lead by Brazil. Here comes Duda, the backup point guard. Diego, over to Batista. Duda, down to Splitter. Tavernari, offline. Rebound by Noé Alonso. Zúñiga with 40 seconds to go. Over to Alonso. Parada. Nice pick over to Parada. Let's see if he finishes now. He's slapped by Duda, and he traveled. Finishing.
Parada can't believe it. He said, wow, there's a reason why I went off with the ball and came down with it, and somebody grabbed me.
Well, the referee, especially Jose Carrion, believed that Duda had a clean block of that shot.
Well, in that case, it should have been a held ball and not a problem.
Splitter can't get the bucket, and Parada gets his rebound. For Parada, it is his 8th rebound. Llamas.
He was.
Traveled. He did. He's a little hurt, I guess. He's favoring his right leg. He says familia. That's etched into his haircut. Family. His Facebook page shows up his month-old son, beautiful child, as Tavernari hits one at the end of the 3rd quarter. And that puts Brazil up by 24. That is Brazil's almost the largest lead. They actually had a 25-point lead at a moment in this 3rd quarter. And they won this quarter 24-16. As we see highlights, and Tavernari making the last shot, having the last word. A youngster at Brigham Young University. He'll be a junior next year. And we see Mexico just keeps scoring from the teens. Brazil keeps scoring from the 20s. No blowout on a quarter-per-quarter basis, but it all adds up.
Yeah, quarter by quarter. That's how you blow a team off the court. By winning or dominating each quarter, even if it's not a double-digit lead.
Brazil is attempting more threes, but they're making them 5 of 10. As we see Guilherme open the quarter with that quick transition and a bucket. Leandrinho with a miss. There's Guilherme again, making some easy baskets. Guilherme Giovannoni with 10 points and 2 boards.
In 1 quarter of play. That was all in the 3rd quarter.
Barbosa with a transition. And again, Barbosa.
Okay, there were 2 seconds on the shot clock when he took that 3-pointer, which he made.
Leandrinho Barbosa now with 18 points. Again, no rebounds, no assists. He leads the field. Anderson Varejao has 10 points and 12 boards. He's got the double-double. And Marcelo Huertas with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But it's a difficult game for Mexico, limited in their rotation. Now they're power forwards with 4 fouls each. Well, Carlos, I'm going to tell you a story about Marcelinho Machado that I've been saving for the game. He's out of the game right now. His brother Duda is on the court. Yesterday they had a practice, and like many practices around the world, I'm sure you had them too. At the end of practice, to keep things interesting and fun, they have kind of crazy shots competition, half-court heaves, back to the basket throws, and whatnot. Tavernari is fouled by Lorenzo Mata, I believe. Yes. Lorenzo with a foul. That's the second. Anyway, Marcelino Machado grabs the ball at half court, takes a couple of steps, lets it fly, and he makes it. And they're having a competition, so others have their shots, so there's time between shots. Marcelino Machado goes back to the second shot. He makes that one too. He makes the 3rd in a row, makes the 4th, makes the 5th in a row, finally missed the 6th half-court heave in a row.
That's impressive.
I don't think I've ever seen or heard of anyone doing anything like it.
That's impressive.
And it's on tape. It is on tape. I'm sure if you go to YouTube, you can find it. Unreal. As we see Tavernari attempt free throws at the start of this last quarter. Jonathan Tavernari, Jonathan Peter Guimaraes Tavernari, 22 years old. His mother is a basketball coach in Brazil. And Jonathan enjoys cooking, so maybe the mom coaches and the young man gets dinner ready. A little feijoada ready. As Enrique Zúñiga brings the ball up court against Duda Machado. 26-year-old, 8 years younger than Marcelinho.
And of course, Zúñiga is a veteran of this national team.
Another one who responds anytime he's called.
Right.
Batista kicks the ball away at the end of that possession, but it's a 24-second violation. So it's Brazil's ball.
Been a long night for Arturo Guerrero. It's going to be a long end of this tournament for them.
Quintero is about to check into the game. Duda.
That was a foul.
Yep. And both Pedrosa and Duda get hurt. And Pedrosa now has, I think it's his fifth. If it's Pedrosa's, it will be his fifth.
Cut. He got cut.
Yeah, he's cut.
Oh.
They have so many shiners in this game, the Mexican team. Oh, yeah. And it will be his fifth and final foul. As we get a substitution for Mexico, Karim Malpica will come in. Youngster has barely seen time.
Half Puerto Rican, half Mexican.
He has seen 32 minutes of play in the 3 prior games that he came in. And this one, Carl, this image sums up the game for Mexico.
Yes.
They've been bloodied. It's been a hard game. As is being tended to by the Mexican trainers.
Malpica has played in 3 games, but only 32 minutes total in those 3 games.
He was born, as we see Duda feed Batista. Splitter.
Foul on Splitter.
With a foul. Malpica was born in Mexico City. Karim Valentin Malpica Torres.
His mother is Puerto Rican. He has a brother who also plays in the Mexican League and the Superior League in Puerto Rico.
And he played for the Catholic University here in Ponce, Puerto Rico. He started playing there in the intercollegiate league here in Puerto Rico. He averaged 21 points and 7 assists as we see him struggle to bring the ball up court. Intercepted by Diego. Little adventure with the dribble there. Diego, guarded by Noe. Nice feed to Duda. He couldn't finish.
The guy that the bench, which is the starter, really wanted that one, that alley-oop for Duda. They were all standing up and cheering for his teammates, for their teammates.
So Quintero misses, and Tavernari brings the ball up court. Tries to feed. Splitter, no good. Malpica. And he's fouled by Tavernari. Malpica, Carlos, does he play as a native in Puerto Rico?
Yes, yes.
So he plays as a native in both countries?
In both countries, that's
interesting.
Exactly right.
He played for Leones de Ponce in April of this year. He is slated to play for Soles de Mexicali in the Mexican League. Another substitution. Jesus Lopez comes into the game for Mexico. As we've seen Mano Santa bring in some of the youngsters into this game. Lorenzo Mata. Nice up and under, left-hand shot, very unorthodox. Didn't even draw rim.
Making it with his right hand is tough. Forget about the left hand.
Diego to JP Batista.
Oh, clearly had position, and they took
Didn't
too much
get him
time
early.
to get the ball to him, yeah.
The ball off the feet of Batista. It's Mexico's ball. 7.5 to go in a 26-point deficit for Mexico. More substitution. Olivinha comes into the game. Carlos Alessandre Rodriguez do Nascimento.
Yeah, that sounds like Portuguese.
Working Portuguese.
Yeah.
Better known as Olivinha, or Little Olive. Why? Because his older brother is Olivia. And that's a nickname. So don't worry about the stuff I said earlier. Olivinha. That's all that matters. Nice pass underneath Parada. And nice hustle, too, to break it up.
By Olivinha.
By Olivinha.
He has a high-low again. And the only way that you could deny that pass was by fouling Parada, because he already had position.
So Tavernari, Diego, Olivinha, Duda. These are all Moncho's picks. The new generation he wants to see get ready and get some international exposure. Malpica with lots of crossovers. Loses the handle. Another crossover. Gets in the lane. Over to Parada. He loses the handle, but he's fouled.
for a moment, Malpica was changing directions, but going nowhere. After a couple of changes of paces and directions, he was able to go by Tavernari, try to find somebody to come and rotate towards him, and he was able to find a Parada in the low post.
Karim had a shot. He had a shot, but he was always looking to pass. As Parada, Adam Parada misses the first.
Yes, he wanted that. He wanted somebody from the bottom of the lane to come up and try to stop him so that he could fit either Mata on one side or Parada on the other.
Makes the second one. It's a 25-point game, 7 minutes to go in regulation. Olivinha working against Mata. Ooh, tough shot. Had to change it to a pass. Tavernari challenges Parada. And the ball in the hands of Lorenzo Mata. He gets the rebound. Lorenzo now with 5 rebounds. 3 points. Adam Parada has 9 boards and 6 points. But he's missed 5 of 6 from the field. Backdoor cut. Nice lay-in by Omar Quintero. Nice play by Mexico.
Good execution. Very good execution.
Dula. Over to Diego. And Diego pumps from the free throw line. A jump shot. Back to a 25-point lead. Malpica. And there's a foul. I think it's Duda.
There are a couple of fans in the stands, Mexican fans, that are the epitome of optimistic. They're saying, they're chanting, "Sí se puede, sí se puede."
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can, which is the slogan by all the Mexican teams in football and basketball. But I don't know.
Which candidate Barack Obama took from the Mexican sporting audience.
I got news for them. I don't think they can today. Maybe tomorrow.
Diehards, Carlos. You gotta love them.
Yeah.
You have to love them. 23-point lead. We talked about how there's a significant Argentine community in Puerto Rico. There are Mexicans here in Puerto Rico. There aren't many, as we see Tavernari make the shot. There's a very famous chef in Puerto Rico now. Intercepted by Duda.
Great play by Duda.
And he makes the basket. He owns a number of very well-known restaurants in Puerto Rico. He's Mexican-American. His name is Robert Treviño. Tremendous chef. Part of the culinary boom in Puerto Rico. He loves this place. He'll never leave. Intercepted by Nascimento. Up ahead to Tavernari. He's got Mata to contend with. No good, and the putback by Olivinha.
Because the Mexicans didn't run back on defense. The only one that ran back on defense was Mata. Mata tried to stop the guy that had the ball, but nobody ran with him. So the other guy that ran for Brazil was all by himself.
The Dukes are heavy. They're not being put up. As we have another interception by Tavernari. A pass and a dunk by Diego. It is a 31-point lead, the biggest lead for Brazil halfway through the fourth. 81-50, Brazil comfortably ahead of Mexico. Steal by Tavernari and a nice behind the back feed. And Olivinha puts the ball in the basket. And Diego, as we look at these rebounds, assists, and steals so far for both teams, the rebound differential significant. If Mexico wanted to have a chance at winning this game also, Carlos, they have to be very difficult in rebounds, but it's very tough to do that with your big men in foul trouble. Pau Gasol and the national team of Spain, one of the favorites, if not the favorite to win that tournament coming up after the end of the FIBA Americas Championship, European Championships, will place 6 teams. And Carlos, there was word that if Argentina somehow did not qualify for the second round or somehow was eliminated in this tournament, that given that they have the #1 FIBA ranking as a country, they would have been one of the 4 invited without a thought, without a debate.
Yes.
And so it may have allowed a 5th team from the Americas, in other words, the 4 that qualified in the tournament plus Argentina, to make it. Parada had a shot, but Zúñiga preferred to take a longer 2. But that seems less likely now that Argentina came in with 5 points into the second round and won today. So the question is, if, say, Brazil, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and Argentina qualify, will Uruguay get invited? Will Canada become that 5th American team or the one team among the 4 that FIBA may invite into Turkey 2010?
That's a very good question, and I really don't have the answer for that right now because, you know, you usually go by history of a team, you go by potential, you go by, you know, sometimes FIBA is looking forward to a team that maybe down the road they're going to be better than they are right now.
A rising star?
Exactly. So, you know, it was for certain, for sure, if Argentina wouldn't have qualified, and they haven't qualified yet, but we would have thought that if they didn't qualify, they would have gotten invited. But right now, if Puerto Rico, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and Argentina qualify, I don't see a team with that kind of history or personnel, so to speak, or potential to get invited by America, to be honest, or by FIBA from the Americas.
And a miss by Mata, rebounded by Olivinha. And the other element, of course, that we don't know anything about is who's going to make, which 6 teams are going to make it in Europe, and who's not going to make it.
That's a very valid point, because there are teams that if they don't make it, let's say, just for the sake of an argument, that Spain doesn't make it out of the top 6, which I don't think is going to happen, but
they're in. No matter what.
Exactly.
They'll be one of the 4.
Exactly.
Now, if all the European traditional powers are part of the 6, and then you have secondary, although emergent powers eliminated but available, then it's going to be a tougher decision. And maybe a Uruguay, again, not knowing who's going to qualify here, maybe a team like them or Canada. Oh, in a basket. And a basket, off his hands, off the block. Jesus will say it was all in the follow-through. Diego. Nice shot over Mata.
Very good touch. Very nice touch.
Not a three-point shooter. He just took one step forward for a higher percentage shot. He knows himself. Zúñiga misses the handle, but it was off the hands of Dula. If there was any doubt. Dula means doubt in Spanish. Me also mean Dula in Portuguese. I wouldn't know. I need to ask. You think Moncho would know that by now?
Maybe.
Moncho probably speaks a good smattering of Portuñol, which is the mixture of Portuguese and Espanol.
Right. I remember Flor Melendez when he coached there in Brazil. He was
Flor Melendez, the Puerto Rican coach.
He was speaking something very similar to Portuguese, but it wasn't Portuguese. And I asked him, what is the language that you're speaking when you talk to the guys there? He said, well, Portuñol.
The mix. Lucky for Spanish speakers, the Portuguese, the Brazilians, Carlos, are very gracious and very patient.
Right.
And they pick up a lot. I think it's a lot harder the other way around for a Spanish speaker to understand a Brazilian. But somehow, they're Latin Americans, they get along, they like each other, they understand each other. And now, a zone for the first time in the game by Mexico.
Oh, nice ball movement against that zone.
And that's how you break it.
They overloaded the left side of the court, and everybody was thinking that, hey, maybe we have to follow the shooters. But no, they were preparing the offense to get the ball inside to the high post, and from there to run a high-low.
Lopez back to Quintero, launches a 3. No good. Rebound by Lopez. Over to Mata. He drives, shoots, no good. Again, the big men just can't finish around the basket. Parada. Finally.
Yes.
Nice move by Alan Parada. He's got 8.
2 for 7 from the field for Aaron Parada. There's the offense again, now on the right side. And now the shooter was open, although Diego couldn't find the basket.
And Olivinha fouls Jesus Lopez hard.
See, that offense means that either your shooters are going to be wide open, or if the shooters are followed, then the inside game is going to be open. When you have an offense like that, you can't lose.
Now, you mentioned to me earlier in the tournament that you felt that Moncho Monsalve really simplified the playbook, and that he simply stresses executing that playbook very well because, of course, each simple play may have 2 or 3 options. But
right.
So you're still seeing the same thing, same 3 schemes.
3 plays. They have a couple of plays that start with the double pick and roll. 1 play that starts with the double pick and roll. 2 plays that start with a pass to one side, and then the point guard goes opposite. And after that, you start ball movement and man movement until you finish up with the pick and roll.
It's a matter of reading what the defense does as well while you're doing that as well. Parada with the rebound. Long pass. And he loses it. Lopez just can't find the handle. Dula brings it up for Brazil.
And those pick and roll plays always have the option of a high-low because there's always a big guy rolling to the basket and another one coming to the top of the key that the big guy that is rolling is vacating.
Batista makes a shot. In Mexico, Carlos, didn't take the ball off the rim.
No.
They looked at it.
Yes.
We've seen that done by Mexico. They think they're not playing FIBA rules. Or they're tired. One of the two.
One of the two.
And it's probably the latter than the former. Mata. Fake. No foul. A strip by Nascimento, by Olivinha. Diego up front to Tavernari. Cross court to Diego, who corrals it. Deflected by Mata. Last minute of the game. It's a 30-point game.
They are playing with so much confidence right now. And this is the second squad of the Brazilians. Remember that.
They're loose.
But I was talking to you about that when we were watching the game between Argentina and Canada before this one. Argentina, they look like a different team right now because, you know, not every possession is life or death for them anymore.
They're not thinking every step they make.
Right. And when you play like that, you are allowed to commit a couple of errors, a couple of turnovers, because you know you're going to make up for those. In the beginning of the tournament, Argentina was so tight. You know, everything mattered for them. And you see, Brazil has been playing loose ever since they started the tournament.
Brazil hasn't lost since they came to Puerto Rico. Argentina hadn't won.
That's the reason why. But at the same time, it's not always that you find a second squad like this, playing so loose. Even though the score is wide open and you know why they are playing so loose. But that's the reason why they are playing so well. Because they don't care. They just keep executing.
And this group on the court for Brazil has every reason to be tight, Carlos.
Because
they're being evaluated.
They're
being evaluated.
Yeah, that's right.
Should you earn more minutes coming up next? So they have reasons to be tight. Here's a pass down low. And a foul by, that's insult to injury right there.
Yeah, Mata just grabbed JP Batista because he didn't want him to be able to get the ball up. Guess what? He got it up. He got the foul, and he got the bucket.
So the wound has just been rubbed. Nice fake and a strip on one side, and then on the other, look at this. Oh, that hurts. Completes the three-point play. It's a 31-point lead. 5 seconds to go. Zúñiga brings it up, will launch a long shot. No, he drives. And that's the end of the game, 92-61. Brazil remains unbeaten. This is their fourth win, fifth overall in the tournament, fourth that count. That gives them 8 points. They get back up on the top of that table, Carlos. And I believe, according to my calculations, they're one win away from securing a berth, one of the last four teams that will make it to the semifinals here in this tournament.
I think they're in. Even though they don't have the 12 points that everybody talk about, and if they lose every other game, they will finish with 11 points. I think they're already in the top four.
So Brazil, happy, content, with excellent execution, 51% from the field, 39 allowed to Mexico, forcing 19 turnovers, committing only 9 themselves.
On the other hand, I think that Mexico, even if they win the 3 games that they have left after